Hello, my name is Jason Romeko, and on behalf of the Service Plan Group, I'm proud to welcome you to our brand new business content series, The Rainmakers, where we help clients like you with consumer insights and other trends from all around our international houses of communication in all fields: creativity, media, design, you name it, we do it. As an example, in the next episode, we're going to visit the hubs, where someone somewhere is always working for you. And together with my friend Tim Schnabel, we're going to go inside our international production hubs. But first, to kick off the series, I'm very proud to introduce you to the transformative power of Uber creativity. But before we get started, there may be some of you who aren't so familiar with our company and why we're called how we are. Well, it's very simple. In 1970, when Rolf Stempel and Dr. Peter Haller opened up the agency, they had a plan to service a client's business, hence the name Service Plan. And very soon on into the game, the gentlemen decided that they wanted to put everything that one needed to service a client's business under one roof, and hence the houses of communication were born. And you could arguably say we are one of the oldest models of integration that's found in the world these days. Inside our houses of communication, we do more than just advertising and communication. We create Uber creativity. Uber creativity is a higher form of innovation that happens when diverse disciplines, talents, cultures, media, and technologies come together and collaborate and interplay. And Uber creativity is how we create best brands for our clients. So, you may be asking yourself, why in 2020 do you need some newfandangled name like Uber creativity? Well, let's put it this way. The first thing to consider is you need it because we live in the screen age. Think about it for a moment. When we're sitting in a living room, when I'm sitting in the living room, I have my mobile phone, my tablet, and maybe I have a laptop open, yeah? I don't own a television, but some people do, so that would be a fourth screen inside the house at that time. Now chuck in a partner, and they may have two other screens, an iPad and a mobile phone, and then ask a kid to come in, and they might even have a mobile phone and a game console, and then suddenly we're confronted with 7, maybe 9 active screens inside a home at one time. Now you can't talk with people on the same screen the same way. No, that didn't make sense. Now the trick is you can't speak to people the same way on each screen. My mobile phone screen is rather intimate. I'm much more using my iPad as a bit of a reader. And on TV, you're probably going to get more broadcast messages in which you can't participate. Yeah? And that's why Uber creativity helps you curate a story across multiple platforms. The second reason we need Uber creativity is because simply we're living in a VUCA world. VUCA is not something I made up. It's actually something that comes from the Pentagon, and it stands for volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. If you think about the wars that we have in Syria, that's very volatile, and that's dominating people's minds. Uncertainty comes from things right now with the corona crisis, yeah? Complexity, well, of course, we live in a world of 7 billion people, almost 8. And then I guess ambiguous, what we read actually true all the time? The third reason we need Uber creativity is to enhance our ROI. Now, ROI is something we do very well here in the Service Plan Group with our partners at Media Plus. And so Uber creativity helps enhance ROI with a second ROI. I always like to think of it as ROI to the power of a little ROI. And that little ROI stands for return on involvement. And that means you get a return for involving consumers inside your communication. It's doing things that they care about. When you do things people care about, you start to own their hearts, and they will stay with you longer. So, now I've told you why we need Uber creativity. Let me just give you 5 very quick tips that you can do today to help your company become more Uber creative tomorrow. The very first thing is to remember is that chatter builds brands. Yeah. So it's a very controversial thing when I say that advertising agencies don't build brands and marketing departments don't build brands. In fact, it's consumers these days who build brands, and they build those brands through conversations. And just think about, they're only going to talk about you if you do interesting things, like in this particular piece of work I'm showing now.
999
999 is the emergency medication for cold and flu of the older generation. But its brand promise, to make you feel warm from heart to heart, is kind of out of date for this day and age. So as winter in China gets freezing cold, many older people wear long johns for that extra layer of protection. However, early adopting Gen Z and millennials reject those long underwear because they look awkward and out of fashion. So we asked ourselves, what would happen if we could mash up the two older generation behaviors to spark a whole new fashion? Well, to promote this, we totally reinvented the traditional long john by raising the waistline above the chest and adding cool, fashionable elements. We transformed the old into something new, inspiring a new trend for the young while at the same time saving them from the flu.
999
Introducing the 999 Long Johns, the won't get cold bad youth.
温暖贴心，不装酷。
Bless your heart with wearable luck.
装全穿旧爆裂，一夜暴富穿旧爆裂，桃花盛开穿旧爆裂。
Be the hottest on the disco floor with Regiment Pun.
999。
Or maybe you'll feel happy when the logo is all over.
更温暖。
And from those designs, we made social media posts combining the worlds of fashion photography, catching double meaning copy, and sharp typography. Appealing to both young and old, 999 Cold and Flu Remedy experienced unbelievable newfound success by becoming the most talked about topic on Chinese government websites. Nearly 1/3 of the whole population of China forwarded our post, proving just how much they love the long johns. That helped carry the buzz across Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan. However, the most important success was giving new life to 999's promise of feeling warm from heart to heart.
$999.
The second way to make your business more uber creative tomorrow is to become a curator. You see, these days, I find that many brands still fall into the trap of creating matching luggage. What's matching luggage? Well, imagine you have a fantastic television spot and you take a visual from that television spot and you turn it into a poster. And then with that poster, you take that visual and you squash it into a banner. And all of these things together look alike, and so that's why it looks like matching luggage. It's not very interesting for consumers when it appears on all of the 8 screens, for example, that I talked about in the screen age before. So inside the Service Plan Group, we like to think of Uber Creativity providing us the opportunity to curate different content across the screens. And that way we're able to get across one message, which is exciting for people whenever they look at it. Now, the next campaign I'm going to show you is a wonderful curation of ideas across multiple touchpoints.
Every night out with our friends goes along with the WhatsApp group chat that everyone's invited to, with all texts about the night. But in the mass of messages, these great conversations are soon to be forgotten. To change that, German beer brand Beck's presented Heroes of the Night, the world's first app that turns WhatsApp group chats into fully personalized hero comic strips. Because every friendship has its legendary stories that deserve to be remembered for years to come, like the friendship of Chloe, Janet, Monica, and Eric. Everything is made possible combining an intelligent software and a pool of 300 pre-drawn illustrations. The software can choose out of 10 hero characters and pair one of them with a group member that fits the best. The dialogue is automatically edited and integrated into the comic frames in chronological order. Colored in the brand's red and green, the frames work with every thinkable text in order to let the dialogue create the story, like in the group chat. To guarantee a fully immersive experience, the software adapts the location, city skyline, and time of sending. That's how every group chat becomes an unforgettable hero comic that can be shared within the WhatsApp group or on any other social media platform, or even ordered as a physical print. The app was celebrated by Lifestyle and Tech Press and delivered amazing results in downloads. The app ranked 3rd place in the App Store with Amazon and Netflix. With Beck's, ordinary chats turn into legendary stories to celebrate friendship.
The third way Uber Creativity can help your business is by thinking about your campaigns as more than a campaign, but a way of starting a movement for doing things that people care about, that connect with their daily lives, that they get their bums off seats, out into the streets, out into the stores, out there championing causes which help a wider good. And we've seen many brands participate in this arena for a long time. We've seen it with Nike. This is particularly important when we look at the work that Procter & Gamble have done with Black Lives Matter and many, many, many other brands. It's when you start a movement that you can actually get return on involvement that I was talking about before, which really amplifies the return on investment. So if you're looking to start a movement, this next idea did just that.
It's a fine day, people open windows, they leave the houses just for a short while. They walk by the grass, they look at the grass, they look at the sky.
It's going to be a fine night tonight.
It's going to be a fine day tomorrow. It's going to be a fine night tonight. It's going to be a fine day tomorrow.
La 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 la.
It's going to be a fine night tonight.
It's going to be a fine day tomorrow. It's going to be a fine night tonight.
It's going to be a fine day tomorrow. It's going to be a fine night tonight. Just for a show. It's going to be a fine day tomorrow. It's a fine day.
So the fourth way you can implement Uber creativity tomorrow is to really shake up the teams you work with. Now, I know other agencies are still working in the model that when a client comes in, you meet the account director, the planner, and a couple of creatives. Why not shake it up? Why not already at the start of your project have the PR person in there? Because you know it's going to be a big integrated campaign. Why not bring the media partner in there so you can really think about innovative stuff from the word go? Why not bring a user interface designer to talk about the experience that a consumer might have in e-commerce? I don't know. But if when you shake it up, that's when Uber creativity happens. That's when the magic happens, yeah? And very often I do this with creative teams to really kind of inspire their thinking. I bring in yoga instructors, opera singers, industrials designers, you name it. A great idea can come from working with anyone. This idea only happened because we were able to get the right people at the right time around a round table for weeks on end. It's wonderful.
After the Fukushima nuclear disaster, more than 25,000 hectares of farmland were affected by radiation. A team of environmental scientists has developed an innovative decontamination method that allows Fukushima farmers to grow perfectly safe rice again.
The data proves that the rice is safe, but people don't buy it because they don't understand scientific data.
To help them understand, we created a book made out of rice straw grown on the decontaminated fields in Fukushima. Following traditional methods, the rice straw was crafted into paper. The book tells the story of Fukushima, the region, the disaster, and the decontamination. The farmers and their products. Using a wide range of sources to let readers form their own view. 296 pages with photography, interviews, and background information. But most of all, data turned into understanding, manifested in paper. Made in Fukushima. A book to help people understand with their eyes and hands.
And possibly most important way to be uber creative is about thinking about the ingredients that you have inside your project, inside your creativity. I didn't discover this. This kind of notion has come about from different things I've learned and I've read from other people. But what I do know is the first ingredient you need is IQ, so intelligence. So you need good people inside your project. You also need emotional intelligence, which comes from your research, from your planning, from the empathy of the creative team putting themselves in the consumer's shoes. The third thing you need is TQ, and that's technical intelligence. Now, you get that from your great media partners at Media Plus. We have that with our partners in Planet. And the fourth element is very important, and it's something that you can only get when you work in a structure like ours in a house of communication, and that's BQ. And BQ stands for being bloody quick, yeah? Because agility is the key to being uber creative, yeah? You can't wait a long time for things to happen. You have to make them happen so that you can move with the times. And look at our times, they're very exciting and they're moving very fast. I guess my last message for you isn't just related to uber creativity, yeah? You can apply what I'm about to say to any aspect of your business, yeah? You know, many people have the weight of their bosses on their shoulders. They feel that everybody's watching every single marketing dollar that they spend. Well, that fear actually paralyzes you, and paralysis in marketing and communication is really damaging to the business. And so I say, don't be scared. It's because when you're scared, you make bad decisions, you make safe decisions, and that doesn't work in the screen age that we live in. And I'd like to leave you with a quote that I read from James Cameron. James Cameron said these words when he was planning the production of Avatar, the first Avatar, not the new cool one which is coming out, although the first one was pretty good. When James decided that he wanted to create the story of Avatar, there wasn't the technology on hand to make it happen. So what he did is he invested in that technology, and he waited 10 years for the technology to actually exist. And so people said that he was crazy, but James said, if you set your goals ridiculously high and it's a failure, well, hey, you fail above everyone else's successes. So in a world of uber creativity, we just cannot be scared. We need to go for it and have ambition. Well, that's all we have time for today. I hope I've been able to give you a good glimpse into the transformative power of uber creativity and what it can do for you. Now, if you'd like to give the Service Plan Group an immediate tryout, then we're giving away 3 4-hour wigwams to the first 3 clients who get in touch. What's a wigwam, you may ask? Well, it's our explosive creativity tool. Normally, we do these things over a 2 or 3 day period, and we fast track creative development that would normally take 3 to 4 weeks. Now, I understand the 4 hours we're offering is not the whole shebang, but it will definitely give you a good flavor of what we do. Now, if you're interested in this, please write an email to therainmakers@serviceplan.com and someone from the business development team will get in touch. Please join me next time when I'll be here with Mr. Tim Schnabel, and together we're going to go deep inside our international production hubs with the episode called The Hubs, where someone somewhere is always working for you. Thank you very much again for your time today. It's been a pleasure to welcome you to this first episode of The Rainmakers. So together, why not? So together, let's make it rain.